Hey everybody, it's Galmadex and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing our final premiere draft of Outlaws of Thunder Junction for this flashback season. Had a bit of a mediocre start to it, a couple 3-3s, but we'll see if we can't end it with a bang. So without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one, and it's quite a good pack here. Frontier Seeker is my favorite of these cards. It is a great spell in any white deck. 2 mana for 2/1. When I just look at the top 5, you could put a Plains into your hand. But if you're in green-white mounts, which is arguably the strongest archetype in this format, you can also pick up a mount creature and put that into your hand. So very good 2-for-1 play. It gives you a 2 mana 2/1 on curve while also drawing you a card. Love that card a lot, but there's other great cards here like Collective Defiance for a removal spell that can also burn or wheel somebody. And then there's also the Dance of the Tumbleweeds for ramp that doubles as a finisher, a giant elemental later. Super nice pack there. But I'm going to grab the Frontier Seeker to start us off. Pick number 2, there's not a great follow-up for the green-white mounts deck. The best card might be Take Up the Shield if we want to just force that strategy as a solid combat trick, but Sentry, Bandit, Keykeeper, and Felidar are not premium cards for that archetype. The Felidar is just a bit expensive for the deck. It tends to be one of the most aggressive ones, so it doesn't care too much about the 6 mana 4/7, even if it has a somewhat powerful ability. So I'm just going to go off color from that archetype and just take one of the strongest cards in the pack, which leaves me with a Vault Plunderer for a great value play in any deck, and Metamorphic Blast, which is a good little draw spell plus combat trick in the right position. I'm going to take the Vault Plunderer here. I think this card's just really consistent, and there are certain strategies where it becomes very good, particularly in like green-black, where you are picking cards back up from your graveyard and reanimating them often. Pick number 3. I really don't like blue-white as an archetype, so it's a little awkward seeing all of the strongest cards in this pack being in blue, Repulse, and Phantom Interference. If we really, really hate blue in the format, we could take the Forlorn Flats here and just have a good start towards a black-white deck if that path remains open. But I think, as much as I don't like blue-white, I think these blue spells are strong enough to take over a duel. So I'm going to take Repulse here and leave blue as an option. Ideally, it would be towards blue-black with Vault Plunderer and Repulse in the same deck. And then here, we see Tyrant Scorn, Desperate Bloodseeker for really good cards towards blue-black, Prosperity Tycoon back towards white, and Dance the Tumbleweeds towards green. There's a lot going on here. I think I'm going to take the Desperate Bloodseeker here. It's the safest pick, hedging the bets between like a black-white token deck or a blue-black controlling deck. Because I think black is a color I would be happy to play in a black-white deck with Frontier Seeker, or a blue-black deck. But if I go deeper into white, then I really don't want to play the blue. If I go deeper into the blue, then I really don't want to play the white. With black, it can go either way, so we'll take the Bloodseeker there over relatively comparable cards. Pick 5 is a very filler pack for everybody. I don't think anybody cares about this. Bandit's Hall could be okay in a controlling blue-black deck, especially if it splashes into a third color. Pick 6 is a pretty late Intrepid Stable Master, which is really good for like green-white mounts, but still playable in any other green deck. Like if we do manage to be green-black Graveyard as a strategy, Bloodseeker and Plunderer both work well in that deck, so I'm speculating a bit on Stable Master over the safer pick of Phantom Interference, locking in on blue-black crimes, or the Tarnation Vista, which is fixing for any deck as basically Evolving Wilds. I think seeing a Stable Master that late is decent enough time to speculate a bit more. Pick 7, this pack is just bad. Period. Really don't think I'll end up playing any of these in any deck I end up playing. Yeah, I mean, I'll just take like a Neutralize the Guards, I suppose. Double red is very color restrictive, but it's the best card in the pack by a lot. 2 mana, deal 5. Actually, there was that blue removal spell. I don't hate that. Collective Defiance, pick 9, so literally nobody's in red. which is fair enough. Red is pretty weak in the set. This set has a very, very deep amount of color imbalance. Hell to Pay might actually be better than Collective Defiance, and neither of them got taken here. I'm going to go for Hell to Pay. The cool thing about Hell to Pay is we could stay blue-black and end up being like Grixis Control. We can splash in Hell to Pay off of Bandit's Hall really easily. There's a cool The Unrepentant. Double black, double red, so very hard casting cost, but if those colors are both really open, then it'll be easy enough, and red looks just completely open. Super late Scorching Shot, Hell to Pay, Collective Defiance. So actually ending up black-red Outlaws, that is what that color pair wants to do generally. Pack 2 pick one's a little awkward. Double white would be really hard to hit. But Outlaws Merriment is the strongest card here by a lot. Rakish Crew, Nezumi, Linkbreaker, Reckless Lackey would all be okay for our black-red deck, but they're not high picks at all. Lawbringer off the splash, much easier card to splash in and still a pretty strong one, would be safe, but Merriment's just far and away the highest upside potential card there. Laughing Jasper Flint. Talk about an open color pair. This is the strongest Rakdos rare in the set, one of the strongest rares, period. You get to keep casting stuff out of your opponent's deck against them, digging really deep into their library the longer it sticks around. Incredibly good card. Desert Stew's great too, but there's no way I can take that over Laughing Jasper Flint. Explosive Derailment, you say? I say it's time to derail this draft and take a red, green, white card. We are Rakdos 5 color, Rakdos splashing in double white, splashing in green, white off Anti-Flash. She's so strong. Yeah, try to find all the treasures we can get here. But Rakdos at the core. There's Vault Plunder for more draw. There's Desert Stew and Derailment for cheap removal. I think I can get plenty of red removal. So I kind of want to just take the good little draw spells here. And then to fill out our removal, we're just going to get a bunch of little red burn for lucky. Hell to Pay is going to be very good in this deck for hitting the Merriment, hitting the Anti-Flash. I'm going to go Vault Plunder on this one. Get a Consuming Ashes. We get black removal spells too, still, apparently. Should be easy enough to cast out of a main color to take that over a duel. Scorching Shot's going to be probably a bit difficult here. Conduit Pylons kind of seems like the nuts for this deck. But black-white's also really important. Both of the cards we're splashing in are in white. So Pylons and Forlorn Flats both look really, really nice. I'm going to go for the Forlorn. So commits a crime when we play it, which can be quite relevant. We are not really drawing any extra... Oh, that's not what this does. This is for extra spells you're casting. I don't think we're really double or triple spelling off in either. Our curve is not like super low. So I don't think Salvo's the greatest. And I think with how open red is, we should be able to get derailments. So instead I'll just take this Coyote and get a 2-drop. There's a Terminal Agony, that's easy. Those are the two main colors. Can play that removal. Another Reckless Lackey's good here. Being able to convert these into treasure tokens later in the game is going to be really helpful. They just get our chip damage in early. They are Outlaws to trigger the Mind Raider and Laughing Jasper. And then like when they're just irrelevant bodies, we get to convert them into treasure towards these big late game bombs. Super nice. Take a Trick Shot on this one. Do not like Silver Deputy is fixing. There's the explosive derailment we were talking about, but doing pretty solid, I think, on interaction, and we'll be getting these derailments like last pick all the time. So I'm going to take Lackey. Yep, see? Because then there's derailment. We'll just take the next one. I think Reckless Lackey is going to be a very nice, consistent card for this deck. Give me that Outlaw on the board early. Give me that treasure on the board late. Okay, pack 3, pick 1. Breaches. Literally all colors here. probably just murder though, right? Yeah, I imagine it's just murder on this pick. Cut this trick shot as the next cut, and then maybe scorching shot. I guess if I'm playing murder that needs double black and consuming ashes that needs double black, we're fine to play a double red card. So just as difficult. Let me start cutting peddlers. If you cast an outlaw, copy it. It's pretty strong, but gotta play it before you play all the outlaws, and we would draw it, especially like we'd draw the treasure token to play it, like once we've already played everybody. Doesn't seem great for the splash. Apothecary is probably pretty good here. It is an outlaw. We are committing a lot of crimes. Better than Prickly Pear? Probably a tiny bit better than Prickly Pear, but then there's also the aspect of we'll definitely wheel the pair. So Oasis Gardener best here, though, with these. I'm going to try to go full treasures here. We have triple lackey, one Mine Raider. We might be able to go full treasure on it. I'm going to run that Apothecary. If you cast a multicolored instant or sorcery, I have one of those. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Splash on a mystical tether, but I have enough removal. I do not need to splash for removal. Or we play a Scalestorm Summoner. I only have like 2 creatures with more than 3 power, so that's not going to trigger often. I think now I can just take the Oasis Gardener. Consuming Ashes. Yep. Second Annie Flash? What? Huh? Second Bandits all. To get to the second Annie. Alright, whatever. Come on in, Annie. Fourth Lackey. Should be Lively Dirge. Total mana value 4 or less. Grave to battlefield. I get to... That's just a tutor for Laughing Jasper or a Cole to put them right on the board for 5. That's definitely the pick. It's just 5 mana for one of our bombs. Not the Annies, but one of the other bombs. Hypothesis would be the strongest here, but it's a bit extra hard to cast, so I probably won't be doing it. And here's an outlaw that can commit a crime every turn. It's a good combo with the Bandits Hall. Probably better than these peddlers we're running. Now we can get a lackey. We did Wheel Breaches. I have double Annie, Jasper, and Nicole, and Outlaw's Merriment. I'm good enough on bombs. I do not need to go super, super mega bold on mana. You know what? Boneyard Desecrator might not be horrific in here because it gives us treasure. Prickly Pear is just so much better at face value, though, still. It's not a summoner deck. Okay, let's still run this Desecrator then. Okay, ooh, I'm happy to get another Deadeye Duelist. To cut a lot of cards. Alright, we'll keep the playset of Lackey. Couple Deadeye Duelist and a Bloodseeker. These are our 7 2-mana or less cards. Definitely the Plunderers and the Mine Raider for the treasure. Gardener for fixing as well. Those are like the 100% necessary cards there. And then the big bombs up here. So that would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 creatures. That's quite a lot of creatures. We could just cut everybody else. 16 creatures and an Outlaw's Merriments. Alright, that's how we do it. 5 cuts to go, though, still. Skewer the Critics and Scorching Shots. are probably the worst removal. Skewer because it kills the smallest amount of stuff, and Scorching Shot because it is the hardest to cast for the least upside. It requires double red and then still doesn't technically kill everything. It does kill most stuff, but all of our double black cards kill literally anything. So drop those and we still need to cut 3 more cards. Could cut probably one of these lackeys. The mana is difficult here. It might be easiest to just cut a lot of the splashy stuff and only splash an Outlaw's Merriment. If I cut the 2 Annies, then we don't really need the Oasis Gardener anymore either. We can cut all 3 of those, and then we still have Gold Pan, 4 Lackeys, a Bandit's Hall, and a Forlorn Flats towards the Merriment. And for bombs, we still have Jasper, a Cole, and Merriment. And it's probably for the best. As cute as it could have been. Still a plenty powerful deck. At that point, I probably don't need Desecrator anymore, so I can go back to running that Apothecary with all these crimes. We got a little Rakdos Outlaws deck here, splashing in an extra bomb with the Outlaws Merriment and some treasure tokens, Bandit's Hall, and all that. Looks like a very powerful deck. I'm excited to see how it does. So without further ado, let's hop into gameplay. Alright, here we are on the play for game 1 with an awkward opener, but theoretical curve out. Lackey into Duelist into Plunderer if we hit a black source. If we don't, we'll probably have to convert the Lackey into a treasure and draw a card. Luckily, we top deck the Swamp immediately, so we'll curve. Playing against green-white, best deck in the format. There's Trained Erranks. And there's Bonus Swamp. We got Plunderer. Rattleback Apothecary. Well, it is not a land, so it is something. Got them down to 16 now. Patient Naturalist is the play. Mill 3, pick up a land. If there is no land, then they get a treasure. They did get a red source. For their probable splash, yeah, their green-white bounce at the core, splash red. And they're going to attack in, get the Scry off of the saddle for the first strike, and we hit more mana. Okay. Can have Duelist do its damage as a crime instead of direct combat damage so that I lifelink, and it's really hard for them to race for now. Take 3 from the Erranks. And there's a 3/3 Free Strider Commando. Things are pretty chill. Here's a Desperate Bloodseeker crime to commit. Do Menace on the Death Toucher, kill 2 creatures with it if they want to kill it. Can do the Duelist crime as well for lifelink. Or I can sack the Lackey, now that it's not getting damage in anyway. To try to draw somebody better. I think I'm going to go lifelink here, that still feels good. Wait, does this once per turn? This is not once per turn, so I can't do it here. They're down to 7. cycle a tornado. They plot an incredible rare. So we really want to kill them this turn if at all possible. They're at 7, I can give Menace there. They can block there, block there. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Wait, block, block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're at 2 life. They get a giant life linker at 2. Duelist can put them to 1 but can't finish them. Get really close. But I can't lethal them here. Which is bad, because then they can get towards stabilizing really well. So they eat the Bloodseeker for free, but then take 5, go to 1 to be dead to Duelist. Or take 4, go to 2 and lose an Erranx here. Okay, that's the same either way. Oh, this is actually better for me because now I can sack this lackey. Since it's dead anyway. There's the Dust Animist for the life-linking blocker. And Nexus of Becoming, so they draw a card, get a 3/3 every turn. Oh my god. And we're just on Flood. Oh my god, we might lose this. I have to draw off Lackey, don't I? If we can kill the lifelinker, we win. Okay, there we go. Jesus. It's terrifying. Just the derailment, we can derail the Nexus of Becoming. Okay, so kill both of those off of Apothecary. And then I can also kill Nexus of Becoming. And they have to find removal for Duelist, or we win. And even if they do find removal for Duelist, we can derail their creature on board and the Nexus. And then just wait to draw 1 ping damage. It's actually too big for explosive derailment awkwardly. Voracious Varmint can blow up our treasure. Ankle Biter can block. 1 damage. We got life gain on board here. They had a lifelink combat trick, but they had no creatures. They could use it on that turn, so they couldn't gain any life. Close one there. They were real close to stabilizing because they were way ahead on cards and creatures on board if they could just last. any longer there. Like if they had the removal to blow up the Duelist, it would have been a really scary position for us, but Deadeye Duelist MVP, and we are 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, game 2, here we are. 1, 2, 3 curve. I do have a tap land I need to fit in there somewhere, so it might not curve out like such. Consuming Ashes is the draw. We'll start getting the lackey damage. If we draw an untapped land in the next 2 turns, then we'll be able to curve out because I can go 1, 2, and then 3, and then 3. But that 1-3 blocks the 2-2 forever as well, so I'll just make sure that we can play 3 drops on 3 since those will be guaranteed relevant. They are stuck on mountain here. If I can Mind Raider into the 5/5 Flample, that feels pretty strong. Magda the Horde Master. Oh my god, I got a Laughing Jasper if a Cole dies. I'd rather lead with a Cool than Laughing Jasper. Because I care less if a Cool dies. And a Cool is still the kind of card where if he doesn't die, they're dead regardless. Laughing Jasper is like, if he doesn't die, they're dead. But if he dies, we're a lot sadder because it's easier to win with Jasper than a Cool. But they both win pretty much just as fast. Technically. It's just that Laughing Jasper puts us way ahead if they find the removal later. We'll still have drawn a bunch of cards off of him by the time he died. Whereas a Cool is like only getting damage in. Get that last ditch Magda treasure while they still can. Nine here. Apothecary into Crime seems like the most guaranteed way to find lethal next turn, or the most likely way. Could Vault Plunder their face, that's always a funny way to get the kill. Because that's a crime, so it can trigger your cards like Apothecary that are giving Menace, while also damaging them for 1. It's the kind of play you literally never want to do unless you're lethaling them off of it, but... Okay, Murder is not quite lethal. It is exactly 1 damage off, but I think that is the closest that we get here. So we can just do that. Okay, there's the concession from our opponent regardless. They're over it. They're just not drawing lands, and that is a pretty easy victory there. That's 2-0 heading into game 3. It's another slightly awkward opener like our one in game 1, but I'm going to keep it because it's got a lot of powerful spells out of black alone, even if we don't hit the red. Like, if we mold to 6, I would keep this and put Lackey on bottom. I wouldn't mulligan any farther, so I think it's just a keep. It's not like a happy keep, it's a keep where we did essentially mulligan to 6. But it happens. Get the blocker for Magna, or the Death Touching blocker that I could trade into either, or we get the Bandit's Haul towards Consuming Ashes. Go Vault Plunderer here, because we don't have a land draw for next turn, a land drop for next turn. Make sure we hit that. And this also stops the Magna damage. So just the Wing Smith, which is now a 2/4 flyer, right? Oh no, it's not a survival card, it's a don't cast anything card. But yeah, it is a flyer. Stagecoach Cuties their draw. We hit Laughing Jasper because we didn't play the Bandits all. Wow. That's a bummer. Apothecary Lifelink here feels like the play. Setting up that Consuming Ashes for their 4/5. Gain more life on that crackback. We're gonna have to wait on Jasper. I don't think I can just play a Mana Rock. Yeah, because this is such a huge swing here. Okay, maybe not the lifelink. Maybe I do just take the kill immediately. It's really hard to do though, because Apothecary gets so much done with lifelink over time. I'm a mana off from playing Hull and Derailment. So this is probably just Consuming Ashes lifelink trigger on blocks. So one off from dirging something out. Couldn't be Jasper. We already drew Jasper. We could dirge a Cole out off of one more mana. No! Their own derailment. Absolutely filthy. I'm not gonna have Death Touch here, so I kind of feel the need to just kill the highest power creature. Because one more mana and I'll be playing a giant blocker that has flying anyway. This keeps all of that ground damage off us here this turn. Just poking the sky. Alright, well, the mana really didn't work out here. It's wild. We're on an 8-8 split of black-red. Frostification, usually very bad, but they're so far ahead it doesn't really matter. Yep, just menace the ground creature and lethal on board. But we survive it with Consuming Ashes, go to 3. Sure. Ty Joaquin, and just did not draw a mountain the whole game. Alright. 2-1 it is, heading into game 4. The 8-8 split is a lie. We were actually running 17 black sources last game and 17 red sources this one. This one is not keepable. We got a double black spell here. We don't have any threats. I mean, I do have gold pan for 1 treasure. That's 4 out of 5 mana for Dirge. But we're on the draw. We have a double black card here. We have no creatures. And only red mana and no mono red spells. Yeah, I'm just mulliganing that one. Okay. Real bad draws these last couple games. And we immediately turn that around. Laughing Jasper top deck is fantastic here because we actually have the mana for him. I would be unreasonably happy if they chose to spend removal on Lackey or Duelist. That is incredible for me. Now they can't play a desert and kill Jasper, but part of the reason they did that may be that they have more removal in hand. We're gonna hope not, because they don't really have an alternate line. to bait out their removal spell. Yep, that's not castable, so I really don't have an alternate line. Drop Jasper. If they don't have Consuming Ashes in hand, we win. If they do, we are kind of losing. We don't have anything left here. But again, I just have no other creatures to try to bait out removal. Oh my god, they don't have Consuming Ashes in hand! And we hit their Roxanne? Good grief. Let's drop a Plunderer here. Just gonna play a Roxanne next turn. I'm definitely not attacking. Rooftop Assassin. See, that would have been awful if I attacked. Yeah, if they didn't top deck their removal for Jasper, then we can still just play the Roxanne next turn. Might as well. Stop that damage. Oh. For some reason I thought you could do anything exiled by him on any turn. On future turns. I guess not. I feel like our opponent's probably on like Desert's Dew or something here. Well, if they had something that could kill Laughing Jasper, they would have killed him before they passed to us. So I think we throw from the saddle targeting Laughing Jasper. Because again, they would have killed him. If they could. Vault Plunderer for Patient Naturalist trade, and we pass. Keep this Servant of the Stinger off of us, because if they commit a crime and then have Servant boop us, they are definitely going to be tutoring for a way to kill Laughing Jasper. No matter what I discard, they're all small enough that they get to draw the card. I have to discard someone with mana value 4 or greater to get them to not draw a card, so there's no reason not to ditch the land on that one. There's the Vault Plunderer. Let's see what Jasper hits here. Dirge and Green Blade. Do both here. It's pretty gnarly. Oh, I can't do both. If I Dirge now, then it would just be to put something in grave. Yeah, I can do the wrong side of Dirge. Okay, well. Use the untapped black source here. Derail the Hollow Marauder. Save Murder. Death Toucher for the 5/5 trade, and we pass. Been playing a lot of good 2-for-1s. The 3-for-1 Hollow Marauder, the 2-for-1 Plunderer, 2-for-1 Patient Naturalist. Like, we have an active Laughing Jasper, and they're still keeping up in terms of, like, cards drawn. I think I have to keep Lively Dirge so I could reanimate Jasper in a worst-case scenario. And again, either way, Hollow Marauder's a 3-for-1 again, which makes Badlands Revival a 4-for-1. So our spells are too low mana value there. Okay. 6 mana to get the land and the 6/6. I think we just full kick that over playing Bloodseeker then. They're down to 10 cards in library. Now. Trash the Town Gigapede Fell Omens. Just Gigapede. The Marauder. They have the Snakeskin for it. They got the Fake Your Own Death for it. Wow, that is strong. Does force them to draw another card. Now they're down to 6 cards left. There's the Lawbringer to kill Laughing Jasper. Again, super jealous of like the Badlands Revival, Hollow Marauder combo-y stuff. Those are really, really good uncommons that can combo together to try to approximate a Laughing Jasper. And they've kind of done it so far here. Trade. They've got 1/4/2 to try to kill us with. And then here's this. Actually... Nah, they have 5 cards left. I'm just supposed to pick up Laughing Jasper. I was thinking maybe I'm supposed to tutor out a Cole, but I can pick up just Jasper and Lackey. I should just do that. There's the concession. They cannot deal with Jasper, so we mill their final 5 cards when we untap. And that is 3-1. Still a really close game, though. Very impressive stuff from their deck. Again, premium. Like 2-for-1, 3-for-1 style plays. Being able to loop a Hollow Marauder that many times. And the time that I killed it, they also got to loop it back on the board with the Fake Your Own Death. Was impressive how long they fought against the Laughing Jasper, but luckily for us, Jasper's just that busted, and we are 3-1 heading into game number 5. All right, nice, reasonable, consistent start here for game 5. Happy to keep it. Gold Pan's not bad here either. It gives us a turn 2 or 3 play. I can play it on 2 and crack the treasure and play the Lackey as well, or could wait to play it on 3 to keep the treasure and just equip it to somebody. And at this rate, I'm fine to just wait and play it on 3. Keep that treasure around for if we hit our Outlaws Merriment. We still haven't drawn it once all day, so like to set up to where if we ever do draw it, we will get to play around with it. There it is. Speak of the devil. We do need 1 more treasure, so I will need to crack a Lackey or find a natural white source somewhere. Summoner's pretty bad here, thanks to the extra power on the Lackey that we set up. Alright, so we got all this instant speed removal, so I get to, well, Terminal Agony's not instant speed, but the other two are instant speed. So I get to pass. If I need to blow anything up, I get to blow it up, and if I don't, I get to crack a Lackey so I can cast Merriment next turn. This is a good position. Opponent's on a very multicolored deck, green, red, and blue. They've got a Conduit Pylons set up as well. There are a lot of immensely powerful rares, though, with crazy mana costs, so a lot of decks are dabbling into multiple colors like that. Multiple. Just gonna go to combat here. And they're gonna pass through, no attacks. If I crack Treasure 1 and a red for Merriment, I won't be able to hold up Derailment unless I also draw another land, and I'll be drawing 2 cards towards it, though. I feel like I can hit the land here. Let's go. You should not play based on vibes and feelings, but that was that line, basically. I still have the deal 4 held up and the Merriment ready to go. Lackey's not a super great blocker, but we are set up for the long game now. We did kind of open the floodgates here to just the swang of all swangs. Sure. See if I can blow up the biggest threats. I can. So I just take 7, go to 12. I have the Lackey to block their dinosaurs all day. And now we just start, again, whittling away the rest of the stuff while making more blockers. Okay, I guess just whittle away a dinosaur immediately. Thank you, Outlaws Merriment. I could still really use more mana. I'm kind of interested in a Hell to Pay on this summoner. If they could have interacted with our removal, they would have done it on attacks. This Hell to Pay should resolve. We get to kill the summoner and have an extra treasure token for a future turn. Probably just trump with a 1/2. Oasis Gardener, Lackey can block that. Get the chump here. Long as I live long enough, we will definitely win. So let's just prolong our life here rather than trying to accumulate as much value out of these little 1/2s as possible. To where I'm like taking a bunch of extra damage to wait until I have like 3 of them to triple block Beaver. I could just throw a removal spell at Beaver instead. Make sure our life total stays high so we don't randomly get trample tricked or something. Plus, there's that too. It can make 3/1s, and if we get a 3/1, there's the trade for Beaver. We just put the gold pan on it, and boom, 4/2 for 4/4. So let's just equip Gold Pan and hold up Consuming Ashes and pass. It's good to me. Prickly pear. They're going a little wide here. Send in the beaver to put a counter on somebody else. Alright, 4-2 for 4-4 with the removal spell up if they try to do something funny. Derail the 4-2. Clear out the beaver in the end step. So lifelinking haster here. Lifelink with the gold pan on it can be big. They take the trade, but we go back to 15 now. Plop a Vault Plunderer. Set up a blocker they can't attack through and pass from there. Clear shot the lackey. Alright, draw a card off of it. Pretty sick draw. Just get a 5/5 flying trample here. Alright, I imagine we're dropping a cool, but we can see what we draw first. Alright, sure am. Come on out, 5/5 flample. Freaky scorpion arms. Alright, there's the concession from our opponent. Ask and you shall receive. We hadn't drawn Outlaws Merriment all day, and then there you go. Get our Outlaws Merriment victory. That is 4-1, heading into game number 6. This is going to be a better record now than our other return drafts to Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Happy to see a positive win rate to end these flashbacks off on. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 6. Nice little curve out here. Just play a bunch of Outlaws together. We have the Duelist plus Bandits Hall combo to set up to draw a lot of cards throughout this game. And the Duelist plus Apothecary combo now as well to get Menace and Lifelink rolling around. Playing against green-black, which as we saw from our last opponent has some really strong... not our last opponent, but we saw from one of our opponents that archetype has some really strong late-game 2 and 3-for-1 style plays with Graveyard Recursion and Hollow Marauders. They can do some pretty sick stuff. Top decking the Akul here made me want to do Bandits Hall over Apothecary. Definitely Bandits Hall or Mind Raiders so that we know that we can play Akul next turn. I went for Bandits Hall over Mind Raiders so that we can start working on those loot counters, as well as get a permanent mana source versus just a one-time treasure. Was hoping to hit a land here. That would have been sweet. So that I could keep activating Duelist every turn. Believe without it, we're still supposed to just jam this. Festering Gulch. No 3-mana removal for a cool. Good stuff. Here's Apothecary then. Lifelink it up. They can Thunder Salvo Apothecary, but don't have removal big enough for the gigantic flying trample creature. Them to 5. They can drop the Mine Raider and draw a card off of the hall. But if I had activated instead to get a loot counter, then I would not have the mana up to draw the card this turn. This guy's got lava arms. Never really looked at what's going on in this artwork. It's pretty wild. There's the GG from opponent. All right, that is 5-1 now, guaranteed in the money out of this final draft of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Very positive record, and we'll see how far we can take it, working our way towards a potential trophy run here. Okay, well, let's see if we top deck a land. This is a risky keep, but if we hit land 3, this is a man of any color, so it gets us to 1 land, any land in the whole deck away from a cool, and also gets us very close to the Merriment, but that's a little harder. We need a treasure token or another white source. But basically, if we hit the 3rd land, I can play Duelist and Hall and Murder, and I have Duelist and Hall combo towards the loot counters. So I'm going to take the risk on this one. All right, great first draw. We hit a swamp. Not only a land, but the land to be able to cast Murder without playing Bandit's Hall. If they played like a really good 2-mana rare or something. Like let's say they played, I don't know, a really good 2-mana rare in this set. Maybe Duelist of the Mind might be worth murdering there. It's the 1 in a blue flyer with vigilance and power equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn, draws and discards every time it attacks or something. Alright, well, here's the thing. Let's force some removal from them. There he is. I would prefer you didn't blow him up, but we have a backup finisher if you do, for later. Well, now we don't. Well, they might let us keep Merriment, because we don't have double white for it. But we have enough removal here. It's like they can't get rid of all of our removal. Okay, they do choose the murder. Okay. We do get to keep Merriment for whenever we hit another source. Bloodseeker's a reasonable draw here. Bloodseeker them and draw a card. Yeah, that lets me play a 2-drop and draw this turn, which is good. If I wanted to draw off of a duelist trigger, then I couldn't play anybody else this turn. I haven't played land for turns, so I think I need to do this right now. Oh, I can't draw off of it. What am I talking about? Well, I can get the loot to draw later. I totally forgot. I'm like, yeah, it's 2 mana to do that, and I have 2 mana. I've got an untapped mana and a Bandit's Hall. You have to tap a different mana source, so it's like basically 3 mana, because you're tapping the hall itself as well. Jailbreak the Aquil back to the top. Alright, I'll replay it. They can have the counter unless we pay 2. It's fine, because then they spent 2 cards to kill it. Do not have the counter there. I'm okay trading a Bloodseeker into a Raven or a Plunderer. Plan the heist. Draw 3. Just trying to find out how to kill a Aquil. And he's still living. Not played a land here, so let's draw during our turn. Lackey or get another counter on Hall. I honestly think another counter on the Hall is better. Currently. Because we're really not drawing lands. We gotta dig. Because if a Aquil dies and we're still stuck on just 3 lands, we're gonna have a hard time. Surveil 2, get rid of Counterspell and a land. They plot a 4/3 flyer. Okay. We have yet again not drawn a land, but Apothecary is real sick. This only plays creatures, right? Yeah. If I could put a permanent onto the battlefield sacking 3 creatures, I might go Merriment there. They have finally found the removal for Aquil. And Desert's due for Apothecary. That is an aggressive attack from opponent. That seems a little extra bold. I guess they have the Djinn on blocks. Yeah, and then I guess these also, like, can just shoot their face. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. But we'll put them to 4. That's 2 turns of Duelists from dead. They can't get the Ravens going. No, they top deck more life gain. Life gain Gardener. Ooh, speaking of life gain. No counter, no counter, no counter. Alright, now we're chilling and keeping their stuff off us. Probably need to start shooting these ravens. Got chip damage creatures versus chip damage creatures. Lifelinker's great here. I either draw the card or get the ping here. I can't do both. I think I'm just gonna ping literally every time I can. Because Merriment can also give pings off of the 1/2s that deal 1 to something when they enter. It makes the hasters even better, the lower they are. Oh, wow, Derailment's nasty here. Alright, they concede anyway. They are probably done on board, but I haven't done the math yet. Math's for blockers. But yeah, the Derailment would certainly be game if they didn't have a response to that. Blow up the Raven and a Gardener. Just a single Raven against all this. Okay. That is 6-1 now. We've made it to the final battle with 2 shots at it here. We'll see if we can't get a full trophy run. We got 2 attempts here at this final battle. All right, well, if they don't have cheap removal, this is a really gnarly start. And they're on the draw, so it's harder for them to have that cheap removal up in time. Just flood the board here, right? Good game from opponent. Hard Bristle Bandit. Can you kill Laughing Jasper Flint? They could have Scorching Shot, the deal 5. They plot the deal 2? No, they plot the Wolverine, I see. Prickly Pear? Just a bajillion. Outlaws on this board. Make Jasper harder to kill by burn. Send in the squad. 3 damage burn is now not enough, and they're down to 8. Get a land from Wolverine and play it. There's the clear shot on Laughing Jasper. Untap the Bandit. Scale Storm Summoner. Sure. There's Deadeye Duelist. Okay. So we can... 3/3 Prickly Pear in and start cycling lackeys. Or not 3/3, but 3/2 Prickly Pear in. Spinewood's Paladin, so Summoner could give them a creature. They would get one dino, but lose the Summoner, so it doesn't really do anything. They still want to do it. Kill one lackey, sure. Dig. For land, find Apothecary. Okay, at least Apothecary is good with Duelist. Another Scalestorm Summoner. Alright, that definitely explains the earlier attack. They got the backup anyway. Just push them through. +3, +2, trample. Okay. Large. Plop the 5/4 in there as well. Be surprised how quickly we could damage them. There's some top decks we have that would be lethal here, I'm fairly certain, with Apothecary's ability. Lively Dirge, I don't think is one of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Lackey, 7, 8. Yeah, no, that won't be lethal. So we just pick up Jasper and a lackey. Actually, I don't need to tutor something for Grave. We have exactly what we want. Kind of want to just pass. Feel like the safest play is to like gain a bunch here. They got a lethal crackback through that. They said good game like 2 turns in or something, so I don't know. This is we get them or they get us here, or what the GG is. So Jolene gets a treasure they can sack to ping whatever they want here. Okay, Jolene does not get a treasure if they do that. Okay. Go to 11. And Laughing Jasper trigger. Just lifelink that. Trash the town. Death touch. Oh my god. Death touch trample. That's just egregious. Death Touch, Trample, Lifelink. Just do it. I forgot to use the Mercenary. I would have missed lethal without using the Mercenary. We still wipe their board and go back to like 20. Okay, well, Death Touch Trample works for me. That is the 7th win, 7-1 for this draft. A very, very good showing, and kind of classic Outlaws of Thunder Junction stuff here, just showing off a bunch of bomb rares. That was kind of the Outlaws of Thunder Junction way overall. Yeah, cool deck. Got a lot of wins off of Laughing Jasper, Outlaws Merriment, a cool. A cool is the weakest of these cards by a long shot. This is not exactly like the bombiest bomb ever. Forces you to be in one of the weaker color pairs. It's pretty hard to cast, and if they play one removal spell and you haven't really accomplished much. Whereas Laughing Jasper is like, if they draw into removal later, you still got a ton of cards ahead. Outlaws Merriment is the same way. So a cool is on like another scale from these. I would say Laughing Jasper is like an S tier bomb. Outlaws Merriment, an A tier bomb. Pretty hard to cast, doesn't do anything until your next upkeep. And then a cool, like a B tier bomb. But it's still a great triple bomb deck here, so really, really good stuff. And very nice ending to the Outlaws of Thunder Junction flashback drafts. The full 7 winner, the full trophy run. He's still got it. Well, Laughing Jasper certainly has still got it. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.